Here we are with a review of the Motorola RAZR, the latest RAZR handset from Motorola, and the killer feature on this device is the 4.3-inch AMOLED display. Now it's what they call an edge-to-edge display, and what that means is they've limited the amount of bezel around the device as much as they possibly can, so you get a really immersive experience when it comes to the screen. Now it's all very well and easy to say that this is the best handset yet, and it is a very good handset all in all, but the fact is there's so much stiff competition, and the basic functions and features of these devices now are so good that you can't really knock them. But comparing the RAZR to the Samsung Galaxy S2, one of the most popular 4.3-inch devices available on the market now and in the past 18 months, and when we put them together, you can see that there is a physical difference in terms of size, and not just a minuscule difference, quite a bit of difference, just simply by cutting away a little bit of the edge of the screen. Now, the Samsung has always been known for being a little bit plasticky, but it's been extremely successful. The RAZR certainly feels more solid, and on the back here we've got a Kevlar stitched back cover, we've got a fixed internal battery, and we've got Gorilla Glass on the front. Now you've got like a metal frame around here, there's no real plastic elements to speak of. Of course there are plastic on here, but it doesn't feel cheap like the Samsung Galaxy S2. So there's a win for the for the RAZR there. It's also coated in a nanotechnology, which means should you splash any liquid on this device, it's designed to repel it as best as possible. That doesn't mean it's water resistant, but should in a worst case scenario something happen, then this should live up to it. Now before we look at the operating system, we've got an 8 megapixel rear facing camera with HD video recording. Pretty good shots so far. I mean, again, the standards are getting better and better on these devices, so they're pleasing shots. They're never going to match up to a standalone digital camera or a digital SLR, but they're getting to that stage where compact cameras are needed no more. So we've got that it's feeling quite nice in the hand. Let's take a look more at the operating system. So whilst this has been tweaked by Motorola, we've got the best experience of vanilla Android yet. If you want pure vanilla, you're going to have to look at a Google Nexus device, but there's been a few little tweaks on here. But the standout feature on this device has to be the Intel Atom processor on here. It's a 2 GHz processor. It's not really dual core or quad core, and for a lot of people you don't really need that functionality. On our testing so far, it's been really responsive. We haven't seen any slowdown. A couple of features that we really like on this device are that from the home screen you can flick across and you've got a quick settings menu. Now a lot of manufacturers use the notification bar at the top, but we like how they've done it through the home screens. You can of course go through to all settings here if you choose. You also don't get 5 home screens as the default on many devices. You get this one home screen, the settings, and if you flick across this way, we have actually added one screen here for demonstration purposes, but normally what you'd get is this screen. And you can then add a blank page or start with a template, or indeed manage your pages. You can get rid of pages if you choose by moving them up here, and you can go back to just a one-page layout, which for some people is really useful. You can of course organize all your apps and everything on your home screen as you would any other Android device. You've got your Google search bar up here at the top, and you've got your Google voice actions as well, so you've got lots of options available to you there. You've got your messaging application as you come to expect. There's the phone functionality on here, but I don't really need to talk to you about those elements. You've got a lot of the Google services, and there was originally talk about some of the applications not working with this new Intel chip. The likes of Google Chrome web browser does now indeed work with it. We can go into the gallery and look at some of the files that we've actually taken in terms of images. So there you go on screen, you can see we've just taken a picture of a dummy 1X, but you can pinch and zoom in and out on here. You can scroll through your pictures like so. You can just play you back a little bit of video to give you the idea of what the edge-to-edge display is really like. Now I'm not saying this is the best example, but you can see how you're not distracted by an outer bezel here. So let's just come out of that. Now the sound volume on this is pretty good. You've got the keys up on this side of the device, which is sort of a fairly standard location and easy to access if you're right-handed. Left-handed people may find it a little bit more difficult. Depends really on your preference. So we have got the camera application that we're in here. We've got the ability to use the zoom functionality. We've got the front-facing camera as well here, so you can see that you can record video from the front-facing camera or the rear-facing camera if you like. Web browsing and everything's kind of as to be expected. You've got the landscape orientation if you choose. It doesn't work in the home screen. You've got no form of actual video out, but it does charge via the micro USB. You've got no USB hosting facility on here either. Now there is 8 gig of internal memory, and what you've got is the option to expand that through a micro SD card in the side of the device here. Now whilst it's 8 gig memory on board, only about 5 of which is actually user accessible because of the operating system, so it's quite likely you're going to want to use the micro SD card slot on the side of the device there. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, GPS, it's all on here, so you can do your navigation. So really that's sort of it. Our initial impressions are very good. Long-term feedback I think is we'll see that the RAZR Eye will be a sturdier device in comparison to some of the competition. Be interesting to see what user feedback is after a few months of the processor speed, if it lags when the device has been used a lot more. So we're not going to put the RAZR Eye up there at the best device out there on the market at the moment, but certainly it's a very strong mid-range handset. And if you're looking at the likes of the Sony Xperia S, the Sony Xperia P, maybe the HTC One S, this is certainly worth consideration for the fact that the profile of the machine is very good. It's got nothing that makes it really that much difference. The Intel chip is one thing, but at the moment I don't think that's really enough to make this a standout feature to go and buy it for that reason. But if you're in the market for a mid-range handset, then you should not rule out looking at this device, and I think the overall sort of form factor and performance will be one that satisfies quite a lot of customers out there in the market. So until our next review, thanks for watching.